Hello. Also, yes, 50s is definitely hoodie weather, but also I wear a hoodie all of the time. So, you know, 50s is dead weather. Yeah. But hello, happy Monday. I'm downstairs because my puppy has not been feeling good. And just in case she needs me at any point. Why is this already dried out? I just opened this lens wipe and it's all dried out. Thank you. Yeah, so what I did was I mixed a pink, purple, and white foundation, and it's a little bit more pigmented in person than it is on a screen. But I really like it. It turned out so fun. Yeah. I was having fun and had a good time. I also blended it out with like my regular foundation at like the edges and stuff, but yeah, it was fun, and I'm looking forward to creating some the lipstick. I used one of my purple lipsticks, and then I put a glitter eyeshadow over it. Something that I do sometimes, although I ate dinner since putting it on, so it's a little bit fading. Okay. There we go. And I'm sparkly. Yeah. Although on the inside, that's just my lips because I ate dinner and so some of it came off, but here we are. Anyways, today we are taking on the final quest in the world quest chains for Sumeru, and that will be fun. And I'm gonna get right into it because I did not get very much sleep last night, and I don't want to be here until midnight. So, let's go. Alright. I don't have a second monitor right now, so we are just gonna have to work with the fact that I've got Acts 3 and 4. Very exciting. I'm so excited for the version update. It makes me so sad. Ooh, story quest. I also skipped right over these. Hold on. Okay. Wonderful. Anyway. Alright. Quests.
According to today's Forest Patrol route map, we need to head here first.
Oh yeah, no, I know there's like 2 quests after the chain, which I do plan to do. Oh no. I wish you a very Fischl's bow. Yeah. That's so sad. I feel so awkward downstairs for filming. Also, 1 second, I'm gonna move my extra. Also, the pumpkin. We got decorations. If that hasn't been confirmed, don't talk about it. Alright. It lacks. Them being dripped does not necessarily mean that they're coming out at that time unless they said that they're coming out in that version, and I don't want to play with getting in trouble for leaks. I like being able to partake in the streamer events for those primos. Alright. It lacks tension. What's going on? I feel like we're missing something decisive. I know, but still, just, I'd rather be safe than sorry. That wasn't really a discussion opener. That's just me saying, if they haven't explicitly stated it, I'd rather play safer than sorry. Okay. I know, but it was the same thing where I still asked, and we talked about the fact that unless they did something like with Dane, which we agreed was possible, and then we moved on. Because every time someone brings up something in a version, I always ask, has that been confirmed? Alright. Taking photos? Okay. That's right, this camera is the engine of inspiration for my paintings. That was a long time ago, and that was um, before I started being more careful because they explicitly made that a rule. Okay. So, this guy's a painter. Cool. Hi, Dakota. Alright, now I would normally treat a newfound friend to coffee, but alas, there's no cafe to be found nearby. Okay. What are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing? I have it in the thing that if it's not confirmed content, not to discuss it. It's in the timer message that Stream Elements sends out. Leaks and unconfirmed. We can talk about drips of being excited that they're coming in general, but specifying the version that they're coming from kind of gets into unofficial speculation that I don't want to risk being in trouble for. Also, can we please? Alright. Yes, we've been to the city. You were grumbling about something, though. Alright. And finally, you can save yourself. Yeah. Perhaps someone will come to chat you up while you do so. Someone always comes. If the person who comes up to you claims to be from some sort of camera club, be on your guard. Uh-huh. I understand what you're saying. I do. I need us to keep moving. Right now. Alright. To set cultural life in Fontaine on the path to annihilation. The Camera Club? Can you guess what they speak of in this club? If we speak only of pictures, then those taken by cameras are. Oh my gosh. So this guy is on the cameras are going to kill painting. Alright. Where would be the space for aesthetics? I mean, aesthetics can be... Okay. We must explore sensibility and beauty through the brush to bring a masterpiece forth. Not all those who love cameras. Uh-huh. Their photos inspire me, and my paintings inspire them in turn. Okay, so he's not completely anti-cameras. Those who know nothing of art and only know how to blow their own trumpets. They disgrace those who love photography and painting alike. Bro, it's okay. I cannot prevent my rage from boiling over every time I speak of this matter. As such, I, along with some friends, have decided to use this camera to take pictures that may be used as material with which to create a series of paintings. Afterward, we will place these paintings alongside the pictures used to create them in an exhibition, and then all shall see the difference between paintings and photography. Yet I still see little meanings in various pictures I've taken. My friends tell me that the best sights may be found in the direst of lands. Underwater, on cliffs, the deep wood. Uh-huh. Would you mind coming under an artist's employ? As long as you don't make me do the painting, I'm an adventurer. Alright. I often hire adventurers as my guards on inspiration-gathering trips, so I know the rules. Cool. It's just that this matter was too urgent, and I couldn't hire anyone in time. Alright. Cool. Those friends of mine gave me some suggestions that I've written in my notebook. Underwater, rugged rocks, plants on rocks, rocks contours. Okay. Studying rocks for their ability to best exhibit natural beauty. So true, I love rocks. Anyway, I'd like you to help me snap a shot of underwater rocks. I wonder what their contours will be like. Okay. is. Perfect. Well, we have a lot of experience with cameras, so there you go. I'm guessing that we are probably going to see that guy again. Eek. I don't really want to fight those guys, but I feel like they're gonna follow me.
Ha, too easy.
What? I do not remember having fought this thing, so...
Incinerate!
Pin them down.
I feel like the mechanical enemies have so much health.
We shall prevail.
And I don't know if that's just me
You're exposed.
feeling that. Like, am I just really bad at fighting them, or... Hello? Thank you.
Boom boom!
Ha, too easy. Ja. Ha. Huh. Yeah. Ja. Ja. Yeah. Ha. Sa. Sa. You're exposed. Sa.
Grant us your blessed time for your arraignment!
Ha. Ha.
Here's the goods!
Ah, yes. See, I have not been... Since I mostly encounter them, like, in these situations, I haven't had my hyperbloom set up. Good to know that if I did, that would probably be better. Whoops. There we go. It really is. I love Hyperbloom so much. Oh my gosh. I got Child to level 80 and all of his talents are at least level 8. I say at least because his passive talent increases normal attack by 1 level. I hate this. I'm so bad at it, actually. Like, his crit rate was abysmal, though, so right now I have him on a crit rate, hat thing, you know? And I'm hoping that will help. Otherwise, he's just not gonna have a crit rate. Because with it, it's at like 33%, and without it, it's at like 4%. And it's not like he needs to crit, but I would really appreciate it if he did. You know what I mean? So. Okay. Is this... Where... Ah, there. I'm gonna have to pass these guys, but they don't seem too interested in me actually. Okay. Mans cannot crit. When he does, oh boy, it'll be a lot of damage. Yeah, I don't know. Andro is so OP, and I love it so much. That was anticlimactic. I was like, where's the battle pass? I'm not awake. I got so little sleep last night. My dog woke me up exactly every 2 hours to try and go outside. Because she's had a tummy ache. And I just... Did I do the photo event? Yes, I did. I did that one of these past days. Probably, I think it was Friday. I think Friday is when I did the photo event, and I, like, went through every single world quest that wasn't attached to the, where? Okay. Nice.
Ad Astra Abyssosk.
I saw that I had 2 days, and I was like, you know,
Thank you
I
for
should do
completing
this
today's
now.
commissions.
Yeah, I definitely have those nights. Not as much with my
Ad
sedative.
Astra Abyssosk.
Yeah, it was rough. I did not get any, like, proper sleep for most of the night, and then I couldn't really go back to sleep during the day because she still wasn't feeling good, so it wasn't until, like, this afternoon that I was able to finally get some sleep. We're all good now, but also, if you're wondering why I'm going through the effort of finding this little guy... Oh. Yeah, that'll do. Sometimes, yeah. I've definitely seen an ending soon before, though, and been like, you know what? I think we've just gotta let it be. Alas. Trying to decide if I care to spend my resin right now, and I kind of don't. Like, I just... With what energy, you know? Yeah. Yep. Okay. Yeah. Even though I know there's no bonus given from choosing him, I have to choose a Fontaine character to do expeditions in Fontaine. Even if there's no bonus character, I have to choose a character that's at least from that country. Why? Because I'm mentally ill. And sometimes you just have to accept that that is how your brain has decided it's gonna go. So, we'll getting a rain alert, which makes sense because the joints in my foot just started hurting. I think I'm trying to decide what I would like to do. I think...
Hopefully this won't take long.
Oh, it's gonna take at least 3 hours, my dude. So valid. Every time I have to go scrolling for a character, I sit there and I think, man, I wish I could just grab whoever is on the top of the list. I so badly wish I could do that. I just can't. Anyways. Oh my. Baiju, what is your deal? What was I last doing with you? There you go. Okay. Is this gonna start us over? Oh, no, it's just gonna bring us to this. Alright, cool. Well, are you ready? Yes. Whoops. Lead the way. I remember this guy was kind of a dick. So, alright. Your wish is my command. Please, follow me. Our destination is not far from the Court of Fontaine. Yeah. Girls and Dakota. Let's all behave ourselves. Okay. I've definitely moved my laptop. There we go. Alright. You arrive with Virgil at a place that seems a bit deserted. Virgil is wearing diving gear that looks a bit difficult to move about in. Wow, it looks so heavy and so hot and stuffy. Actually, you can place mist flowers wrapped in cloth inside to lower the temperature. As for the weight, well, just put it underwater. There's no time for delay. Let's go, my friends. Should you really be calling us friends? Because, you know, Paimon would really... Okay. Please take care in your investigation, you two. The nearby waters contain valuable something. I feel like that's the first time I've gotten a crab from underwater. Oh, there's an ad break. I'm only working with one screen, so I have tension like on top of my oh wait. Here we go. Eight. Crab. I'm always out of crabs. But so I can like just barely see the corner of chat on the side of my screen. Yeah. But that way I can still see it. It's fine. I'm just gonna continue interacting with other things. There's another crab. It feels so much longer when I can't actually see the countdown. Alright. Woo! Informations and clues regarding the forum? Maybe, most definitely. Alright, if you say so. Whoa, it's absolutely soaked. Do we really need to collect these things? Even that which is soaked has the value of something. Is this Montanian culture too? That gave us no little pop-up. There seems to be a space down below. Wait, you're going too fast! Oh my gosh. Ooh, I've been near this area and I was trying so hard to get through it. Time to try that. Question mark? Okay. Water blades. Here. Where'd the ray go? I saw one around somewhere. And then stopped seeing him. There you are. You were behind a pillar. Come forth. Okay. To think that the key would be here. Proceed deeper. Oh boy. Alright, everybody, let's, let's calm down, Mr. Reyes. I don't want to hurt you. Okay. Oh my goodness. Over here. Yes, I know the whole thing. Genshin, you know this isn't my first day. Okay. I keep forgetting that I can just press control to go lower, but, Alright, now we're gonna need the hermit crab, but... Woo! Okay. Open the gate. I'm in. Oh. I like the underwater music. Oh my goodness, my eyes are burning. Probably from not getting enough sleep. But, Yee! I hate these so bad. Ooh. A Hydroculus. But I'm pretty good at dealing with them. So, it's not the end of the world. That kind of looks like the thingamabobs in the desert in Sumeru. I'm sure that the desert isn't the only place to have hourglasses that are gigantuan, but it's what it reminds me of. Oh no, that's fully... That's a little primal construct. We ran into them before, back in the desert of Sumeru. Uh-huh. Okay. Maybe I was on to something. I don't know. Is it awake? Or are we good? Oh, there's cameras. Almost like they were researching it, maybe? Let me deal with this thing. Empty bookcases. How unfortunate. It seems the path forward lies behind this door. Alright. Leave the water. Whoa! Hello! I did not expect solid ground to be, that soon. How will we open that door and proceed onward? Ooh, so this is the forum you were talking about. There's so many books everywhere. They must have been really dedicated to studying and conducting research. Women would have never guessed that they were a secret society plotting to overthrow the government of Fontaine. As the saying goes, dear Paimon, knowledge is power. This is especially true for the Latacruces Forum. You should understand that with great knowledge comes great power, and once great power is yours to command, there will be only one path left to you. Paimon doesn't think that logic really holds water, but you're the local, not Paimon, so Paimon will trust that you know what you're talking about and leave it at that. You seem to have been researching some amazing things, though, and we've already seen plenty of stuff that obviously isn't from here on the way. Last time we saw them was in the deserts of Sumeru. They were fucking annoying. While knowing their extensive resources, it couldn't have been too hard for them to get their hands on these kinds of things. After all, this is the fabulously wealthy forum we're talking about here. But we've also explored a lot of domains and seen our fair share of cool things during our adventures. Is that so? I presume you've also found a lot of treasure? Enough to cover travel expenses. How fascinating. I mean, what a terrific achievement. I expected nothing less of you two. I don't believe you. It's too bad this place is completely flooded. It really feels like a lot happened here, and they made a lot of important discoveries. The water levels of Fontaine have risen before, and according to the folks at the Fontaine Research Institute, they will rise again in the future. Perhaps one day all of Fontaine will disappear beneath the waves. That'd be terrible. All that delicious food drowned and lost forever. Paimon, you've always got your priorities in order. Anyway, let's hope nothing like that will happen in the future. The future? Who cares about that? I'll be dead long before then, so why should I worry about the people alive then? I mean, you know. Most people want to leave the world a little better than they found it, but, you know, sure. What do the people in Fontaine of the future have to do with me? I would pay my respects to my family and friends. After all, they raised me and have done many things for me. But have the people of the future done anything for you, for me? So what do we owe them? Isn't that right? I think that we owe the future land to live on. But I don't know. That's just me. That's what I might have said about the issue of flooding if I lacked both patriotism and a sense of civic responsibility. I don't like that this guy basically changes his mind on what he's trying to say to come across like the most likable to us. Like, dude, just say what you mean. You're paying us. We will not abandon you right now. Anyway, sorry for digressing. There should be a way to open the door below. Let's take a look around to see if there are any clues or keys. I'll also try to see if I can find anything in the associated files. Uh-huh. Okay. Ancient log. Okay. Awesome. The assigned assistant doesn't seem very reliable. At the moment, it doesn't look like the power sources of those war machines can be used. Don't mind me. Their cores are far too dangerous. I'll get them to seek out other such mysterious machines. No progress worth reporting today. Went out with Anne under the watchful eyes of my Hi, John. Went out with Anne under the watchful eyes of my adoptive father for inspiration at sites where battles took place. Ran into Renee and Jacob. The assistant doesn't seem reliable. Saying that again. Caused some accidents. Just another obstacle to overcome. This kind of machine with a seemingly arbitrary external form is quite interesting. Research will focus on their power source. Researched prime energy machines. Assistant took the day off. Asked Anne for help. Recommended Renee and Jacob to the director of the institute. Researched prime energy machines. Assistant took the day off. Asked Anne for help. Suggested she join the institute, but she wasn't interested. I did not get very much sleep last night, so I'm very tired. How are you doing? Research prime energy machines. Assistant still isn't back. I'll go pay a visit. Found Renee and Jacob's adoptive father with my own adoptive father's help. The supplementary prime energy machines have arrived. Should be able to make progress now. Assistant seems to be in good spirits. Probably just a minor illness. Research prime energy machines. Renee and Jacob joined the institute. They've been assigned to my project. Field research today. Interesting machine statue. Researched prime energy machines. Researched prime energy machines. My adoptive father visited, but I was too busy to host him. Anne scolded me. I'll remember to apologize next time I see him. Researched prime energy machines. Assistant took the day off. On the threshold of a major breakthrough. Assistant took the day off. I was too busy to visit. Anne scolded me. I'll go tomorrow. Dakota, be careful. On the threshold of a major breakthrough. Forgot about the visit. Am sorry. Will invite everyone to go with me. A little low on social energy. Valid. Took the day off. Assistant took the day off. Went to visit. An idea. A virtual neural network based on a vast quantity of thinking units and instead of logic trees. A camera? Research prime energy machines. Assistant took the day off. Research prime energy machines. Assistant took the day off. Research prime energy machines. Renee and Jacob went to begin conducting their own research today. Assistant took the day off. So Renee must be, so I did the follow-up quest for, or I did all of the follow-up quests, the extra quests for the Melazine quests, and I remember there being one where there was, like, that ancient book that we were going through and finding the missing pages of, and it was talking about somebody who was with Jacob. I'm guessing that was Renee. That would be my assumption, since this is referring to Renee and Jacob hanging out together doing their research. Is that the underwater one? No, that's... Wait, yes? You go underwater, and then you emerge, and then there's, like, this ancient book, and then it, like, warps you into a weird space that's supposed to have something to do with a prophecy. And it talks about how Jacob drank Elenis's blood What chain was this for? It wasn't a chain, it was just one of the quests that was unlocked after the chain. It was one of the Melazine quests. So it was one of the ones in the, like, underground area after the Painter quest. It was the one who was talking about how she likes to meditate, and there was a book. Alright. A breakthrough. Patent application is too annoying. Forget it. Assistant's condition seems okay today. Still a little worried. Considering the gap in medical technology, advised assistant to go to Sumeru. Valid. Considering the gap in took the day off. Researching machine kinematics next. Must make material list. Visit. They said a bigger lab has been prepared for the kinematic experiments, but I've decided not to move for now. Visit. Been urged to move the lab several times, but if my lab is moved, my assistant might not be able to find it. A pain. Visit. Moved my lab. Enigmatic page. I was assigned to the same lab. I was nervous at first, since everyone said that he was a child prodigy. Since the disaster, such people are even more precious. I thought that since he's the star of the Institute and was recommended by the higher-ups, he'd be full of himself, but he's much better than I expected. He's just not especially nice or anything. No obvious symptoms. I made a huge mistake and knocked over an ancient geometry machine that took a lot of effort to bring back from the desert ruins. But then the machine came to life and messed everything up. Though he's a lot younger than me, he's really smart. I can't believe that's how he managed to tame the machine. Maybe taming isn't the right word? Maybe the other engineers will look down on me for using it, but it really did feel like taming. I know the current clockwork machines pretty well, so I can tell the huge technological gulf between the two. Ignoring structure, if we can't solve the power source problems, then it'll be difficult to make any meaningful progress. But I still have to be careful. I've never seen Elaine angry, and I don't want to find out what he looks like when he gets angry. A few minor symptoms have appeared. Took the day off. I can hardly believe it. Elaine came to visit me, and even brought his sister. She's cute and not afraid of strangers. I'm so happy. We discussed the idea of a thinking machine based on gems and tape circuits. I use the word discussed, but actually I just said things like, "Oh, and that's really amazing," or "How will you do that?" whenever he paused and didn't make any real contributions. He was really into it, though, and he behaved very differently than he usually does when he's in the lab. His little sister is probably way smarter than me, a research assistant. I guess it isn't that boring when it flares up, but I want to return to the Institute to help as soon as I can. The additional machines got here. The previous ones are no longer usable since they were completely dismantled, but it did clear a lot of things up, at least according to him. Something about being driven by the elements in the ley lines, but we can't recreate it with our current level of industrial precision and material science. I helped with compiling the report, but there's so much I couldn't understand. Apparently lots of people are secretly unhappy that Elaine has more research resources than them. But if you ask me, everyone's smarter than me, and they should all get along, and that way we can make the world a better place. His sister said that some of their friends are joining the Institute. I look forward to meeting them. No obvious symptoms. Joined the lab as new partners, but now I'm even more confused by their conversations. Why is it I can understand every word on its own, but once they string them all together, I can't make heads or tails of it? Jacob is really the only one that's even close to being on the same level as me. I feel ashamed just writing it. That, as an adult looking for reassurance from a child as young as Jacob, I feel like I've lost all self-respect an adult should have. Based on their prime energy machinery, Elaine and Renee are thinking of trying to use the characteristics of, I don't really know how to pronounce the blocks, those energy block things, to construct a new kinetic core. A few minor symptoms. I may have made a contribution. Well, maybe. I went on a picnic with Elaine, his sister, Renee, and Jacob. It was technically supposed to be field work, research, but the idea came from Elaine's sister and me. We thought they didn't have any life at all outside of their research, so we asked the Institute's director to arrange something. Petrichor is quite boring, but the scenery is quite nice, since you can see the Great Waterfall. I brought a camera from the Institute to take photos of them. I hope there are more outings like this one in the future, so I can make more photos of his sister especially. After all, Elaine is always working and can't be with his sister as she grows up, so these photos will come in handy for later when he regrets not spending much time with her. Then he'll be able to see how she was at different times, and it won't sting so much. If only my family had enough money for a camera and things didn't go wrong, I'm sure my mom would have taken lots of photos of me. Renee and Jacob like Elaine's sister a lot too. When the four of them hang out, she sometimes acts like an older sister to them, despite being the youngest. It's a really interesting dynamic. Seem to be interested in the ruins and the stone statues here. Renee also mentioned something about a trope in seals. Even though we went out there to have a bit of fun for once, they were still thinking about research. No obvious symptoms. Took the day off. Elaine's sister came to see me with Jacob. Elaine and Renee couldn't make it because their experiment is at a critical stage. They didn't have to tell me any of that though, after all. With my limited abilities, I was able to with my limited abilities that I was able to help at all is already fulfilling. I heard that Elaine and the Institute's director came to see me separately while I was unconscious. I feel bad that they came all this way for nothing. I wasn't even awake. Still taking time off, but I hope to go back and help them again soon. I found out that they were graduates from the Narcissan Cruz Institute, and that made me really happy. They talked about the director and the vice director, as well as their adventures, and it made me feel like a kid again. The only detail that didn't make sense was the cake that the vice director made, because it felt like a punishment when we had it. After the disaster, I lost contact with pretty much all of my friends. I'm happy they were able to find each other again. I wonder how my friends are doing. They're probably trying to rebuild the Narcissan Cruz Institute. Next time, I'll go check it out. Talked about the thinking machine again. I had an idea about making a thinking camera so that it would take photos of those precious to him while he's busy. He thought it was kind of pointless, but that it had security and surveillance applications. They did it! The light bulb came on. I was lucky to have recovered in time to witness this historical moment. It's quite a pity, but I hope Renee and Jacob will make the breakthroughs of their own in their own research topics. I also hope that they get better assistance than me. No clear symptoms. Took the day off. There were several visits while I was unconscious. It's a shame. All I could do is read the letters they left behind. Jacob left me a note inviting me to his and Renee's lab. There's something they want to talk to me about. I hope I can get out of bed soon. Anne brought flowers for me, but they had already wilted by the time I woke up. Took the day off. I was able to get out of bed today. This is where I first met Elaine. For a time afterwards, my first time standing here, I documented the experimental procedures and phenomena based on his oral descriptions. He was trying to start up the machinery below in an ill-fitting lab coat. Renee and Jacob entered through that door, and Elaine would temporarily forget to act the young genius and rush towards them like an energetic kid. I found myself witness to the first successful controlled annihilation reaction. The brilliant light cast a deep, dark shadow, and I believe history was made in that moment. Can someone like me, so excited I knocked over the ink bottle, play a role in such a historic event? Behind the locked door on the other side is Renee and Jacob's lab. It seems access was limited due to the dangerous nature of their research. They are destined to become towering figures in history. I guess Elaine moved to another lab. Based on his plan, once the energy problem was solved, he would study kinematics. I'll go greet him later. I wonder how Anne is doing now. I wonder what kind of beautiful woman she will grow up to be. I'll stop writing here. I don't have much time left. I hope everything goes well. Hey! Brilliant. Now we can continue further into the Institute's depths, as expected of a seasoned adventurer. Aren't we investigating the forum? So, is it a forum or an institute? Sorry, I misspoke. Yeah, bro, I don't believe you. Just commit to what you've said. I would be fine with you initially misleading us if you just committed to what was coming out of your mouth. Okay? And forgive me for asking this out of the blue, but... Oh, ad popped up. I will finish reading that in a moment. Especially since the last guy we ran into who was just poking around was literally Jacob. You know, the very same Jacob we're reading about right now. Yeah. So, I don't know. Like, how do we know you're not going to turn into an Abyss Lector? Jacob is the Abyss Lector from the Underground questline. The one who was, like, drinking the... I think he was a rich... I'm not gonna speculate publicly too much on that. Oh, he was poking around, not in the quest, but it was talked about that he was, because he was, oh my gosh, there's a fruit fly. He was, like, before the quest, he was the collector who was befriending the little Melusine that we were working with, and he was trying to, like, get information out of her and get paint from her, by building up trust with her. So it's implied that he was poking around initially, but he had nefarious intent. So we only interacted with him when he was having nefarious intent, but... Oh, yeah, no. In the quest, he straight up said it, but it's implied that, like, before the quest, he was poking around. And forgive me for asking this out of the blue, but did either of you ever run into anyone who was looking for me, or did you tell anyone else about our encounter? Why do you ask? Paimon doesn't think so. What's wrong, Virgil? Do you owe someone a ton of money? No, of course not. It just occurred to me that I should let you know that there are many greedy goons who are also after the forum's secret treasure. You are a liar who lies. They're very different from us. They're willing to do anything to achieve their goals, so I've always refused to work with them. And I know the most about the treasure's whereabouts. They have me in their sights. Uh-huh. I've spent a long time hiding from their prying eyes and looking for partners I can trust. It is my luck to have finally met you two. Bro, you just grabbed us off the street. All you went for. I love how Lumine is in the I don't fucking think so posture of like, are we about to square up? Huh. So that's what's going on. In any case, I'm just relieved to hear that you never told anyone about me. Ha! I just knew I picked the right people to be my partners. Only your best friends can be relied on to keep your secret. Are we best friends? Are we? Are we best friends, Virgil? Yep, don't worry, we won't tell anyone else about you. As I have, like, 3 Archons on speed dial. I don't know, man. This guy's sketchy. I have complete confidence that you will never ever tell another soul about me. Let's go. The treasure is waiting for us. Okay. I'm not saying I think he's gonna kill us, but I am saying that if he does, I won't really be that offended. Didn't you say things that are so... okay. The situation has changed. Why has the situation changed? Am I going the right way? There we go. Whee! Oh, I don't know why I was aiming that. As though I was still underwater. Don't trust Owen Purple. You know, yeah. Oh wait, I'm holding the wrong thing. Oh, that's just a time trial. I'm not gonna worry about it too much then. Wait, was I supposed to go down here? I'm not actually sure. I may not have. Or maybe. I don't know. Let's see. Let's see. Wait, was Virgil wearing purple before he was wearing the, defeat the clockwork mecha? Ah, jeez.
Torn to oblivion.
You know, the purple is what had me sus of Jacob, too. I was like, that means something right now. I don't trust him. And then he turned out to be a freaking Abyss Lector, and I was like, yeah, well, would you look at that? Would you look at that? Oh, shoot. Something. Good heavens, Traveler, you certainly have a way with the mecha. Yeah. So you keep that in mind. You watch your back, because you are a liar who lies. We must be close to getting the treasure. After all, we've already run into the guards. Though Fontaine's achievements are as numerous and dazzling as the stars in the sky, the Clockwork Mecha are undoubtedly the most exquisite of them all. Though perhaps I shouldn't overpraise. One of the most exquisite. You must have traveled via Aquabus when you visited the court, correct? Tell me you've seen the intricate steamboat as well. In Fontaine, even blacksmithing is done by Mecha. Why, the Maison Garnage didn't even have to lift a finger to beat me up. They just sent out some Gardamax. Ah, it hurts so much. You're so real for admitting that. Beat you up? I mean, beat up the bad guys. Why would they ever beat me up? Honestly, just commit to it. Just commit to what you're saying. We're friends with more than one war criminal, okay? It's not that deep until you start lying and hiding shit, and then it becomes that deep. Okay? Okay? Well, I'm just like, oh, okay, that makes sense. Whoa, if Mecha are already so advanced, then surely the people of Fontaine don't need to do anything for themselves anymore and can just leave everything to machines. Haha, that's a good one, my dear friend. You're just adorable. Who's the other besides Child? I mean, I would say any of the Archons who partook in the Archon Wars probably committed war crimes. Like, I just don't believe that they did that and won without committing a little bit of a war crime. You know? That's just my personal take, though. Benji wasn't taking a nap during the Archon War, but he didn't fight for his throne, because it was the people who overthrew the one god, and then the only other god who was up for the task was Andreas, and Andreas was like, you can have the Gnosis. I'll be dead soon. It's a lot cheaper to hire a human than buy a clockwork mecha. Or to put it another way, no one and nothing can infringe on a Fontaine citizen's right to work. They got them AI laws. The one god, Andreas dead, that's the wolf that we fight. We fight his spirit. He was, and the one god, that was like the dictator god of storms that presided over Old Mondstadt. It's a lot of lore. If I get into it, we're gonna lose time. I want to get into it so bad, but I can't. I have to stop myself because it is important to not be awake too late. No, that was a different time. They were a different set of tyrants. Mondstadt has been under multiple tyrants in its life. That's why freedom is so damn important to them. Paimon, why don't you show him that trick of yours again? Beep. Construct. Beep. How fascinating. In any case, though, I think everyone would agree that humans and machines are not the same. Though, all the places we've been have their own charm, too. It's not like Fontaine is just better than everywhere else, right? My friend, surely you cannot be serious. How can there be any place in Teyvat that's better than Fontaine? Oh yeah, for sure. Well, I don't know, dude. I think that hypernationalism is just a one-way street to fascism, so we tend to say that we like all the countries. Paimon was just trying to say that other places are also really special, too. Virgil, have you ever set foot outside of Fontaine? You should know that there's an old saying in Fontaine. All waters lead to Fontaine. Yeah, and all rock leads to Live, and all wind leads to Mondstadt, and all lightning leads to Inazuma, and all grass leads to Sumeria. It's not the people of Fontaine who should go out and see the world, but all the world who should come back and witness Fontaine's glory. So that's a no. Anyway, my friends, why don't we keep going? All fires starting now. Exactly. And anytime you're cold as balls, it's probably because of Snezhnaya. Amazing. The treasure's still waiting for us deep inside these ruins. Yeah, let's go. Okay. So before we can unlock that door, we'll have to do some other stuff.
Illusion shattered.
Okay, so it's gonna be somewhere on the other side of the wall. A Sealy. Did not mean to do that. Ah. Ooh. Atlan did start the fire. Following Guillotine's instructions, the research went well. We've created a clockwork mecha that can release energy. To be honest, we no longer need to call it a clockwork machine, as it doesn't rely on elastic potential. It'll be compelling to see what results he achieves next in kinematics. There's no way old-fashioned clockwork mecha can withstand such power output. Even young geniuses must stumble now and then. The thought of using this sort of unstable energy source is impressive. Though we have long observed these unique energies in Fontaine's atmosphere, water, and organisms, it has always been regarded as a latent threat rather than a potential resource. Aren't there a few young geniuses too many nowadays? The director is pleased, sure, but won't spare a thought for us ordinary people. Not all of us are as simple-minded as Shebius. Who? I keep writing down names because I'm trying to connect dots, so don't mind me. And I will forget. It received a very high rating. If the patent were to be granted, the potential financial gain would be considerable. However, I decided to decline the opportunity because the machine was practically all Guillotine's work, and I can take no credit there. My family was quite angry about it, but as an engineer, one must have at least a little dignity and self-awareness. Still making improvements, and the output efficiency has increased. Seems to have been specially recruited. That's good. Had he continued that line of research, who knows what horrors he might have unleashed. At this stage, we have to pull out. The director says everyone will be given a position and resources after reconstruction, but I'm afraid if it were me, I would use this as an excuse for a major shakeup. People like me won't get recalled anyway. Never mind. I've been pretty happy these past days. I guess I'll consider it my retirement. I'll go to the city and open a small workshop, repairing watches for folks. Cameras, too. Right, I'll see if I can make a waterproof clock. With the way things are going, might make a killing in the future. I wonder if that's... because we've met some people who work with clockwork. I wonder if that's like their ancestor or something. Writing that.
There is no escape.
I don't have the... It's like the, I don't know, the like toy clockwork event thingamadoo, you know? You're going up. I'm not. Hold on. Wait for me, Seely.
I'll keep this close.
Higher. I'm trying to see if there's an elevator I can summon, and I'm not seeing one. So I'm gonna just start climbing. Old fashioned. Alright. Ah! Alright, there we go. I'm so sorry for the glitchity way that this is looking, but I can see where I'm going, and that's what matters at the end of the day, you know? We got this. We totally got this. There I go. Awesome. Oh. Would you look at Sometimes you have to fall to your death to understand what you're supposed to do. And, that would be me. I have to fall to my death to understand what I'm supposed to do. It's okay. It's totally fine.
The doctor
Alright, that's a little bit.
Blaze over.
Not only are we closer, treasure, Paimon, but we are, in fact, looking
Mind the side
directly
effects.
at some treasure.
Go!
I always have an easier time when Ganyu's burst is ready to go. Wait. Okay. Got it. There she is. Hello. There we go. Oh, good. A ruin guard. Oh no, I'm gonna sneeze. So this is the same one mentioned in the files. What files?
Is this
Just a description I read in the Steam Bird. You're a liar, Virgil. There are suspicions of some sort of association or group activity among the leaders with a so-called master involved. Whilst they are very vigilant towards external investigations, there is currently no evidence of aggression or any invasive nature, so the case is not being pursued through official investigative channels. Objective remains unclear, and further investigation is required. I mean, that is also, yeah, that's a possibility. There is reason to suspect that the Institute may be the hub of these activities. Alright, come on. Let's go. That first sound almost was like, ow. Ugh. Yeah, but if they did that, they'd have to explain what planet they were referring to, and sometimes you just don't feel like it. That sounded like help.
Healthy body, healthy
You know,
mind.
that's also an incredible thing for that guy to be saying. So, ha! That was the last teleport point. Okay. Interact. Ah, jeez. I mean, yeah, but if you've never heard that name before, you'd have to, like, go through the process of learning, okay, that's what, it's just, again, it's not really a, but at the same time, it could mean that they're literally supposed to be on Earth. I have never really given too much thought to the logistics of the planet outside of Tibat. Because there's not a lot of info on it, because they're kind of isolated from it, in a way. Alright, according to my research, this should be the treasure vault of the Forum. The riches we seek should be within. A treasure vault. This does not look like a vault at all. Where's the treasure, Virgil? I thought the vault would be full of glittering golden mora, dazzling as the sun. You should know that just as the truly wealthy do not flaunt it in anything as shallow as appearances, real treasure... Oh, Paimon knows what you're about to say. Real treasure was the friends we made along the way. I don't think so. I was about to say that the real treasure is not so easily revealed, but sure, that too. I never could have come up with something so wise and philosophical. Paimon, I don't think we've made any friends along the way. Do we know literally anything about this man, other than the fact that his name is Virgil? Regardless, the purpose of our expeditions is to uncover the treasure that the Institute has hidden away for centuries. And I'm convinced beyond a shadow of doubt that the treasure is hidden in this room, so let's hurry up and get in there and find it. Are you sure? Paimon doesn't see anything in there besides a few broken ruin machines. Your words wound me, my friend. We're partners who are seeking the Institute's long-lost treasure together. Do you really doubt me? Is this a forum or an institute? About that. Let's just say different records refer to it differently. See, you should have said that the first time instead of saying you misspoke. But the name isn't the important thing. We should keep our eyes on the prize. What we're talking about isn't merely a matter of hundreds or thousands or even millions of mora, but a vast secret trove of hundreds of millions of mora sleeping within the vault. Are you sure? And there are other priceless items in the vault too, like the all-powerful Holy Sword, which can pierce through armor and destroy the soul itself. The Holy Sword, you say? And it's all in this vault. Precisely. And if you ask me, every moment we spend bantering here increases the risk of us being beaten to the treasure and all sorts of scrupulous ruffians who will stop at nothing to steal it. See, you bit me. In that case, Traveler and Paimon, please go forth and recover the treasure. I'll make sure to watch the rear. Alright. Like, what's gonna happen? You try to pull a one over on us? Like, we'll just beat you up. Oh, his eyes are purple too, aren't they? I think so. What are you saying? If we don't beat the bad guys to the treasure, they might take it from us or force us to split it from the... Yeah, I'm not worried about that. Paimon understands. You're worried the vault might be protected by some kind of mechanisms, right? Yeah, there's always traps at the end. Virgil. What's wrong? Don't do anything I wouldn't do. I'll leave the rear to you. Don't worry, I won't let anyone get through. Oh, and please let me know when you find the treasure. Just in time for an ad to hit. Hundreds of millions of Mora. Paimon, I need you to think so hard right now. Exploring the perimeter first. I feel like there's a lot of... No, I guess there's some others. I just feel like I've gotten a lot of traveling doctor artifacts compared to Adventurer and Lucky Dog. Oh boy, another log. It seems the ordinary Dari machines can... Wait, hold on. There's still an ad going on. I can wait 10 seconds. Sorry. I got a bit ahead of myself. I was like, I'm just exploring. Wait. This is the story. Alright. It seems the ordinary Dari machines can no longer satisfy him. As a result, the director used national resources to obtain something truly horrifying. Rumor has it that someone was nearly killed. I hope this will help him achieve his research objectives. They even got him some rare Dari mechanical parts being studied by Sumeru researchers as part of the package. Things went out of control for a third time. Guillotine may be willing to risk his own life, but that doesn't mean the rest of us feel the same. I came up with an emergency damage control strategy, and I hope we won't need to use it before he finishes his kinematic research. However, given his personality, it seems unlikely that he'll ever truly complete that research. It seems that his experiments into machines were intended to create a mechanical dog as proof of, that's Seymour, as proof of his accomplishments in kinematics and material science. It's actually a good idea and could be showcased in the city, and the creature is much more personable and likable compared to the automated turret next door. At least he lived long enough to be poached by the Marichasi hunters. It wasn't easy for us to survive this long either. But what will we do with this blasted crazy killing machine that can repair itself? Ugh, that's a problem for future generations. Welp. I haven't really paid attention to what's behind the opera epiclese. So I have no idea what you are talking about. I'll take a look the next time I'm in that area. This machine, does it look kind of familiar? I think we've seen it before. Since this order brought all kinds of mechanisms from other nations to this place, this is probably something they hauled over from some distant ruin as well. Paimon just had a really scary thought. What if the so-called treasure is just their research findings and has nothing to do with piles of Mora at all? Knowledge has value too. Yeah, you're right, but Paimon still wants Mora. If we had hundreds and millions of Mora, we could build a pretty house and invite all our friends over and just eat great food and have fun day after day. Noble wish. Truly. But now that you mention it, the forum really did a lot of research, didn't they? We saw so many cameras along the way. They were probably used to record the results of their experiments, right? And there's a notebook here too. Let's see. Yep. It's hard to make out a lot of the words. It says, when something goes out of control, break something else, something, so damage can be controlled. Super helpful, Paimon. Thank you. Oh, there's the other shiny I saw. Cool. Alright. Paimon sure hopes this ruin thing isn't gonna suddenly stand up. It's just a ruin grader. Paimon's not worried about you being strong enough. Paimon's just scared that you'll break the treasure in the middle of the fight. We don't even know if there's treasure here to break. There has to be. There is, right? No. I mean, I'm sure that there is some sort of, like, thing of value, but, like, you know. I'm sure we'll get a treasure chest. There's a glass wall here, and it seems like there's a bunch of water behind it. Look, there's cracks in the glass. Ah, that looks dangerous. If the glass suddenly breaks, who knows where we'll get swept off to? Let's find the treasure quickly and get the heck out of here. Huh? What's that sound? Virgil, what's going on? What's going on? I'm so very sorry. I made a terrible mistake. It was only during our expedition that I realized this wasn't the former grounds of the Forum, but rather the ruins of the Institute of Natural Philosophy. Shut up. There's no treasure here, but there are lots of experiments on machinery and energy. Now, my dearest friends, another experiment is about to begin. As for treasures, it would be wrong to say there aren't any here at all. As seasoned adventurers, I'm sure you've accumulated quite a bit of Mora and other precious items over the course of your adventure. Sure. I will return after the conclusion of the experiment to collect the treasures you are sure to leave behind. And don't worry, my friends, I'll be sure to put them to good use. That's fucking creepy. And also, what are you gonna do? Drown us? You're gonna drown us? I'm a star from the sky. I hope you have something more interesting planned. Virgil, you lied to us. I've been lied to by a few people who've hired us at this point, and this has been by far the least interesting. So, you know. So you knew and still decided to step into my trap? Ugh, you're the kind of person I despise the most. So arrogant and disdainful. You blasted fools all treat me like an idiot. Even if for a couple of foreign... Ugh, whatever. According to the records here, this machine is a special ruin grader. No matter how good you are, even if you can handle ruin guards, you're still only made of flesh and bone. You know, I don't actually know if that's true. Our friend did some experiments on us, and he was like, don't worry, your physical makeup is totally normal. And we were like, cool. And then after we left, he was like, that was so not normal. Thanks, Albedo. As to what makes it special, I'll leave you to find out in your own good time. Goodbye. Traveler, get ready. Okay. Fight and survive.
Seems like an emergency.
I'm so glad I have a shield.
Now you shall perish. This is long overdue.
A bitter pill to swallow.
Oh, I see. So at its last HP, it starts to, like, regain HP?
Torn to oblivion.
Alright. So it's just annoying.
Illusion shattered.
Oh no, how will I
Taking a
ever?
turn for the better.
Like, I'm not really that worried about it. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. It's just maybe possibly not that serious. This part's a little bit serious. You know? What's a bit of running around?
There is no escape. Go! The doctor will see you. Inazuma shines eternal.
Break the glass wall. Oh. Under the relentless assault of raging waters, the ruin greater something. That went way too fast. Anyways. Oh my goodness. Dakota is laying on the couch off to my side. I'm so mad. To think that Virgil would be someone like that. Good thing we managed to escape that way. Who knows what would have happened otherwise. Once we're out of here, we're gonna go find him and settle the score. Paimon can't believe he put us in danger like that. Really? I wonder if... Yeah. Never mind. Paimon didn't think there'd be buildings like this underwater. People used to live here, right? Paimon gets a little sad thinking about that. Off we go. You know, I figured it was gonna have to do with that. Where do you think this current's gonna take us? What if we get trapped in some underwater dead end? It'll probably be fine, Paimon. Don't worry about it. Light! Paimon sees light! Cool. I figured that it would have something to do with the glass with the cracks in it, but I really wanted to see how fast I could kill the thing that wasn't supposed to die and how many times I could do it. Paimon's pissed. Oh my gosh. We're gonna settle the score. There's something about reading Paimon's pissed. I love it. I'm having a great time. Okay. Oh. Wait. What do we do now? How do we carry on? I could look up the quest guide, but I really don't want another tab open on my laptop screen. So if somebody could point me in the direction of the next part of this, that'd be swell. Might be time locked. That would suck. Also, that would be the only like quest that's been time locked. So far, at least. For Fontaine. Cabernet. Oh, good. Okay. Cool. Go back to the statue of 7. Okay. Well, that I can do. I was hoping that it would do the same thing. Oh, yeah. What? You hire a guard? You hire a guard because you know I'm gonna kick your ass? Get over here, punk. I'm offended by the fact that they don't even do the... Anyways. Sorry. These are just some blonde guys who are standing in the same spot. I needed to take that out on somebody. Anyways. Now, this is a most serendipitous meeting, wouldn't you agree, my dear Luca? Who are you? Apologies. Look at me beginning a conversation without even introducing myself. I'm Sunny, the one they sometimes call the White Glove. My friend here is Luca, the fisherman. He's pretty famous in certain circles. Hello. Paimon is... It's most alright. I know that you are Paimon, and this blonde traveler is the Traveler. You know us already? But of course, it's just that before today, my knowledge of you was much like my knowledge of the Chief Justice. In other words, I knew of you, but you did not know of me. With your fame and accomplishments, it is only natural that news of your arrival would reach us as soon as you stepped foot in Fontaine. Yeah, we're that famous. To certain people, your arrival in Fontaine would be as if someone had just set off a bomb on stage of the opera Epiclese. Yeah. Of course, I mean this in only the most positive way. Don't you agree? How can a bomb going off ever be a good thing? I'm not very good with words. How would you put it, Luca? Lenny and the Nuts magic show, blasting everything wide open to accomplish the impossible. Spine-tingling experience. Precisely. See, I never would have thought to put it like that. If you say so. Why are you called the White Glove, though? Paimon doesn't see a glove at all. Oh, now, that's a hard question. It was an ordeal. How should I explain? Imagine, if you will, that you're wearing a white glove. If something dirty were to get on your hand, then a dark mark would be left on the glove. My duty would be to find the dark mark and remove it from view. So are you a dry cleaner or an assassin? So you're something like a cleaner? Exactly. See, I was never able to so succinctly summarize the nature of my work. So people like you are the reason why the streets of the Court of Fontaine are always so well kept and tidy. That's what I like to hear. Yes, you may understand it like that. Okay, that makes sense to Paimon. But why does a cleaner need a knife? You may think of it as a small tool of the trade that we bring out there when there are particularly difficult marks to remove. Got it, thanks. I was just like, okay, we just got duped by some other guy, and she's just like, yeah, that makes sense. I believe this. So, your friend here, Luca the fisherman, because he's really good at fishing? That's only part of the story, I'm afraid. See, there are many kinds of fish in Fontaine as well. And Luca here is really experienced at teaching people to spend some quality time with all the different kinds of fish. Have we just met the mob? A cleaner who carries a knife and a fisherman who helps people spend quality time with fish? Have we met the mob? I feel like we're meeting the mob. Huh? Paimon doesn't get it. If that's the case, then I must say, dear Paimon, that you've really got a knack for asking the most difficult and fascinating questions. It would be most wonderful if we could have a longer conversation where I would be able to answer everything to your full satisfaction. Paimon, it's okay to stop asking. What do you need our help with? Because there's a guy we'd really like to stab right now. And if you need our help stabbing that guy, we'll totally help you stab that guy. Yeah, exactly. Which is why I'm like, okay. You see, we're extremely intrigued by the practice of diving. Fontaine's waters are full of priceless treasures left by nature and our ancestors alike. We heard that you made a good friend recently and even went for a dive with him. Your powers were such that you didn't even need to use any diving equipment. Isn't that right, my dear Luca? You want to ask about Virgil? You want to ask about Virgil? Virgil, spelled Virgil. About yay high, same color hair as you, except his eyebrows could use some toner, probably. Yeah, we know him. Do you need help stabbing him? Because we'd really like to stab him. Yes, we want to ask about Virgil. That liar and traitor. Just remembering him makes Paimon mad. You recount your experiences with Virgil to Sunny the White Glove and Luca the Fisherman. I see. Thank you for telling us all of this. You're welcome. Paimon hasn't forgotten a single thing about that guy. We are, of course, exceedingly grateful that you were willing to share the whole story with us. However, from my own perspective, I am even more relieved that you do not consider Virgil to be a friend. If that hadn't been the case. Maybe I can put it like this. Had you seen him as a friend, things would have become quite awkward for the both of us. Isn't that right, my dear Luca? Have you already killed him? Because then we're gonna have problems. Because I would have liked to have done it first. It could make things difficult. I agree. Thank you so much. What are you talking about? These guys are the enemies that Virgil told us not to tell that we know him. But an enemy of my enemy becomes my frenemy. Oh. Your words wound me, my lovely lady. I have many friends and not a single enemy. Virgil is just one of my many friends. Okay. And speaking of dear Virgil, I think it's about time that we have a serious talk with him. Surely you understand what I mean, dear traveler. Of course, this is also so that we can get back at him for what he's done to you. It's the least we can do for our honored guest, don't you think? I'm in. I think you guys are also sketchy as hell, don't get me wrong, and I will beat your asses if it comes to it. However, right now we're kind of focused on the whole stab Virgil thing, so. Paimon is lost. He is the white glove, and that's all you need to know. The Traveler is like, yeah, we've met the mob. We are currently interacting and speaking with the mob. Okay. We've already found the stronghold of Virgil and the rest of his friends. Why don't we meet up there? Alright, let's go. Paimon wants to talk to Virgil too. He has to make a formal apology to us, honey. He's not gonna apologize. I do not think he's sorry. You're too kind. Let's meet up at our destination. To your destination. Hooray. Okay. I find it interesting that they didn't put it as a whole, like, chain. Wait, why is there a circle there, but a pointy-do there? I have no idea, and I mean, I don't know. Oh, I see. That would have been. Yeah, the circle being. Well, on the mini-map, there's this little orangish yellow circle, and then there's like the actual quest indicator. I don't know if that's because if we had dived Cove, then we would have gone through that way, or if it's trying to like make a point like, hey, this is the exact same way Virgil took us, or like what. But yeet. Hey, let me get the waypoint. Ha, dear Paimon, and my lovely lady. This is the stronghold that Virgil has been using as of late. I swear, why is Virgil still not back? If he's just gonna keep us waiting, I might not be able to hold myself back from the shipment of synth. Synth? Hey, cut it out. That shipment took us an arm and a leg to get. Virgil will have no mercy on you if you just take it without his permission. What a pity. It would seem that my dear friend Virgil hasn't returned to the stronghold yet. We can still have a chat with these guys, however. They don't look like they're in the mood for a chat. I think they may change their minds soon enough. What do you think, my dear Luca? No problem. Alexa, stop. Okay. Are you sure that'd be no problem? I don't think Alex will probably just try to beat you up. Oh, Paimon. You're too considerate. Something like that would be most unfortunate indeed. For them, of course. Of course. Let's fucking go!
Wipe out! For Rex Lepus!
Shine down.
Go!
Ha! Oh. Now you shall perish.
Ha! Where are you? Ooh, nice crossbow.
There is no escape.
Bombs away!
A bitter pill to swallow.
Inazuma shines eternal.
Bye! Please, let me explain. This is all a misunderstanding. Mr. Sunny, you see, we only got into this business because we heard there was more to be made, and since the higher-ups didn't agree, we figured we could just earn the money first, and then all of the profits, turn all of the profits over. Yeah, that's exactly it. Ah, he's totally ignoring Paimon. I have no complaints against the organization, not at all. Oh, right, I was also tricked by these crooks. That's the only reason at all why I did something so foolish. Impressive, very impressive. Traveler, you are every inch as strong as the stories have made you out to be. Don't you agree, my dear Luca? Super strong. Incredibly formidable. Please, if you still remember anything about the time we spent together, Mr. Sunny, Mr. Luca. Please, no. Luca, our guests are still here. Let's not do anything discourteous that might bring down their mood. Understood. See the error of your ways now? This is what happens when you double and then triple cross people. Also, an ad has popped up. This is... yeah. I just... like, am I aware that these other guys are also criminals? Sure, of course I am. However, we would also really like to beat up Virgil. That was good fun. I'm also impressed that the puppy hasn't gotten up at all. I was a little worried about that. Dakota is so cute sleeping on the couch. My blankets are downstairs because I slept downstairs for Zoe, and the criminal of my criminal is my not a criminal bestie. Exactly. Exactly. That's how it works. It's kind of like how in Fontaine, the Fatui are there, but the Fatui, as far as we can tell, are investigating the rising water levels and how to stop it. So, like, are the Fatui really our enemies in Fontaine? Or are we a little bit on the same side? I guess we'll find out later, but, you know. The siblings implied that Arleshina was looking into the situations. Anyways. It was my fault. It was all my fault. Please, have mercy. Okay, at least you've admitted that you've done something wrong. Now, make sure you won't do it again. My dear Virgil would never do something like that again. Paimon, traveler, I can promise you that on the honor of Sunny the White Glove, as well as that options is just like super cool. Bye! What you gonna do now? I mean, you did mention synth, and we do kind of have to also stop you. Life can often be... Yeah, I saw her, and I was so excited. Life can often be extremely boring when you understand everything in this world, isn't that right? And if you must know, we will have a long and very serious chat with him. We will not take any more of your time, however. Thank you so much. It seems that there are more good than bad people in Fontaine after all. Oh, Paimon, these aren't good people. Farewell, dear Paimon, and lovely traveler. I hope there will come a day when we'll be able to work together again. Well, maybe next time don't be such a weasel. I don't know. Is that a... Oh, that's a cabbage. Okay. I was like, is that a nut? No. No, it is not. Thank you very much. There is a Hydroculus in here somewhere. Well, it might not be in here, but it's around somewhere. Paimon really is so naive. Alright, my dear Virgil, you've really put us through a lot of trouble. Now then, what should we do with you? Sorry. This won't do at all. You know full well that time flies, and now it's too late for you to turn back. Our organization has a justice code all on our own, and one of our most important rules is that there are some trades that you just never do. Unless they're against the synth trade? I don't know. But Mr. Sunny, please, just listen to me. The profit margin on this, it's just... not this again. Mora. Is there anything you care about other than Mora? What about your pride as a citizen of Fontaine? What about your conscience as you watch your countrymen turn into husks of themselves from this drink? Oh, they're anti-synth. I like these criminals. How shocking. Even Luca is showing intense emotion in response to your words. You see, my dear Virgil, you've truly accomplished the impossible. Mr. Sunny, please, believe me. It's all because of what those guys said. They lied to me. I would not have done anything if not for... Silence, you worthless dross. You're the exact kind of lowlife I've got no time for. Even now, you're still trying to lie to me. Are you beyond dumb, or do you think I'm dumb? Not so talkative now, are you? You even tried to hurt the traveler. You have the faintest inkling of who you were asked to deal with. To think he could have trained someone as clueless as you. I've really got to have a good conversation with him. But that will not be something you'll need to worry about, dear Virgil. Ripperino. Tough luck, buddy. I'm guessing there's more to this quest? Or, like, another quest part? The quest names that I've got written down are The Final Question and Unfinished Story, and I don't know if one of those comes after this, or, like, what? I guess I could always go back to the Statue of the Seven and see if there's anything there. Those two are unlocked now, and they technically wrap up all 3 quest lines. Ooh, cool, cool, cool. Go to the last room. Okay, so should I go to the underwater area then? Institute of Natural Philosophy. Okay. Book symbol. Oh yeah, we did get some more pages, didn't we? Not that book symbol. What other book symbol is there? Hold on. Probably. Okay. Okay, this is this room. Let's go over here. That shooty thing is new. Oop. I think this is a log we haven't gotten yet. Okay. I clicked read and it went instead to a load screen. Cool. Okay. Here. I've gotten some achievements. Let me grab those. Oh, I have more. Oh, yeah. There we go. There we go. Goodness gracious. Okay. Whoa, what is this place? Paimon's dizzy from that whole getting sucked into the book thing. I remember this place. I know it. This is the Narcissan Cruz Ordo. It sure does feel like we've been transported to all sorts of strange places under weird circumstances after meeting Anne, huh? Yes, especially since that was the quest that we started with. Sorry, Paimon. Oh, it's fine. Paimon's not blaming you. She just thinks that, Fontaine is a really magical place. Still, this Narcissan Cruz Ordo sounds like an organization of the people from the kingdom, was set up in a different country. The method of entry was pretty interesting too. It was just like that picture book in Anapasis. We read, and then we ended up somewhere else. That makes this place something like a secret base, doesn't it? We don't even know where it really is either. Are you feeling more calm now, Anne? Yes, much better. Thank you, Traveler. Or should I drop that title? It was all fake after all. Don't say that, Anne. Your story has only just begun. The Traveler's right, you know. We've still got a whole bunch of adventures waiting up ahead for us. And how shall one proceed in peace of mind without a reliable knight at hand? I'm getting tired, Paimon. Come on, Paimon was just trying to encourage Anne. You're quite the knight yourself, Paimon. You're positive and you've got a good heart. It makes me happy, truly. Oh, come on, why are you getting so serious all of a sudden? You're just less powerful than the Traveler, that's all. Everyone has got things that they're good at. Powerful giver of nicknames. A gifted speaker. But that aside, didn't you say before that the Narcissan Cruz Ordo has deep links with the past, Anne? That's why we came in the first place. Yes. However, my head's still a complete mess. That's true. Paimon knows. Let's put what we've discovered together real quick. Well, when we were exploring the Anapasis, oh boy, Paimon's head's a mess too. Any idea, Traveler? Let's discuss Anne. Right, Paimon's been thinking about that too. Mary Ann said that your birth was a beautiful accident. What does that mean? I think it might simply be that my birth was a coincidence. Just as she said, I'm someone she dreamed of. The form she took in the dream. The things we experienced together were also part of the tale in the dream. If it hadn't been for you, that dream might have never ended. Or perhaps it might have ended, and I might have disappeared with the happily ever after. I can't be sure. That's true. Not that Paimon gets it. This means that Mary Ann is also an Oceanid? Eh? And Anne was created from Mary Ann. Eh? That's what I believe as well. And if that's the case, the things I remembered during our journey should have been her memories. Or so I think. Your knowledge and experience cannot exceed that of the main body. But when you met her, you also became your own entity. Without a main body to restrict and control you. So, become the master of your own fate. Her last words to me. Ooh, okay, Paimon gets it now. So that means that Peticho, Al, and the other creations are just like you, right? Like Elaine's little sister, Peticho. I believe that to be the case, yes. So, who was Mary Ann really? This name is very familiar to me. I cannot recall why. It's like some part of my body has been frozen. Any other thoughts? The Narcissan Cruz Ordo? Alright, now I have a lot of thoughts on the matter, memories and emotions. When those two children brought me here, it was a lovely place. Everything was new and shiny, just as before. They were vibrant and excited, like the sunlight shining on the water. They told me that this was our new home, and that they'd brought many new friends. That everything could be like it was before. later they changed. Something stopped being the same, and the people here changed too. Though the Narcissan Crow's Institute of old did not have sunlight, it was very warm. Yet this place grew ever colder. And then, Anne looks like she's in pain, Traveler. Can you recall anything else? I'm sorry, Traveler. As for the rest, each time I try to recall it, I grow very frightened and very sad. That's the best I can do for now. I can sense that many terrible things happened here. I can sense many emotions, rage, terror, but also hope and trust and admiration. All of them make me feel a strange sort of pain, like there's all sorts of shards or impurities embedded in my body. I don't want to. I can't. Alright, let's leave that aside first. There's no need to force it. The more you try to force yourself to remember, the less you'll be able to remember. Any other thoughts? Princess Lyris? I suspect that she was only ever a character in a story. In that tale, we needed to save her and defeat the fell dragon Narcissus. That was my original purpose, or wish. All stories must have their origins. Speaking of that, and we've heard you mention a place called the Narcissan Crew's Institute before. So if we go with the Traveler's logic, the Narcissan Crew's Kingdom and Adventure Team might have their story's origin in the Institute in the Ordo too, right? That is possible. It feels like we got our hands on some new clues, but then again, not. Actually, I've recalled something else. I've seen terrifying sights. The primordial waters, the amniotic flow of the world, and its placenta devoured to the last. The world fell into utter darkness, and never again would the cool spring water flow. I saw that once. Or perhaps I saw that in the future. The prophecy, maybe? Wait a second. Which are you talking about? The past or the future? I don't know. Sorry, and thank you, Traveler Paimon. Come on, it's fine. We said we were going to help you. No, I truly am happy that the two of you are the first two friends I've met since I became me. For that, you have my thanks. We're glad to have met you too. Why are the two of you being so formal? Isn't becoming friends something that just, happens? When you called out to us and asked for our help, and that was the moment Paimon thought, that's right, you're a friend and we've got to help you. That means so much, Paimon. Or thank you so much, Paimon. Don't be like that, Anne. If you really want to thank us, then keep your chin up and keep those spirits high. Yes, you're exactly right, Paimon. Besides, I have your help. I shouldn't waste it by standing still. I must recall more and tell you all about it. Not that you have to push yourself too hard to recall the past. It's fine. Just as Mary Ann dreamed of past tale and the tale gave birth to me, I will also rest. In dreams, I might be able to recall more things. Perhaps there might be lovely things there too. If I do recall some, you'll be the first to know, Traveler Paimon. Got it. Alright. Good night, Anne. Indeed. Good night. Alright, there's that one. Another enigmatic page. Ooh, the treasure that Virgil promised us. So this is the Narcissan Crew's Ordo. Recording. His location and data regarding it have been recorded in my storage unit. We've been here before. Mary Ann you're looking for probably isn't here. But we might still find some clues that you didn't before. Did you remember anything useful upon arriving here, Seymour? Negative. The newly recorded information is pending further analysis and organization. No effective conclusion possible at present. Huh? Then, are we gonna have to wait a long time until... Affirmative. Record space collation starting. Total time required unknown. Interactive functions will cease temporarily while this is ongoing. Wait, hold on a second first. Roger. Interrupting space collation process. What instructions, Miss Traveler, Miss Paimon? Come to think of it, we don't know a lot about you either, Seymour. Wonderful. All we know is that your master isn't Monterey, but is someone named Mary Ann. Affirmative. Miss Mary Ann is my master. According to my standard deduction module, the odds of finding clues to her whereabouts are high. We know, you said that before too, but it felt like there was some more basic questions we hadn't answered yet, now seems like a good time, right? If you could tell us a bit more about yourself and Mary Ann, we might be able to better help you. Of course. So, Traveler, what would you like to ask? Tell us about yourself. I am prototype 4ACV07, designed by to accompany and protect my master, Miss Mary Ann. I didn't get a word of that. Is my creator. I am equipped with the most advanced optics, memory storage unit, logic unit, and various functional modules from the Fontaine Institute of Natural Philosophy. That was as clear as mud, but it sounds impressive. The more impressive the equipment, the harder it must be to fix once broken. Note: regular record space collation can decrease the frequency of such issues effectively. So, basically, before you've done your collation thing, there's some stuff that you can't tell us even if you knew, right? Affirmative. More precisely, grasped. Information regarding can be extracted using. This allows me to keep a log of Miss Mary Ann's daily life and also acts as an agent's assistant. Are you serious? The important bits all got cut off. What's an agent's assistant? An agent refers to a member of the Mertus Phantom who undertakes investigations. In this case, assistant refers to Seymour, prototype 4ACV07 itself. So, Mary Ann was a Mertus Phantom agent? Affirmative. Wait, if that's who she is, wouldn't looking for official records help us find her faster? Why'd we need to come here? Miss Mary Ann's role as an agent was not publicized. Additionally, the case she investigated has to do with it is performed at the direction of as such. Bro. Seymour, you're breaking down again, aren't you? No. Regular record space collation can decrease the frequency of such issues effectively. Let's just ask a different question, shall we? Any other questions? The Narcissan Cruz Ordo? Can we really find clues about Mary Ann's whereabouts here? You've never been here before, right? So why do you think we'll find clues here? My latest records indicate that the last records before meeting Miss Montmoret were those of myself executing a specific process. This process was the capture of fugitive elements from the Narcissan Cruz Ordo. Miss Mary Ann was also executing this process. As her companion and guard, I followed her and into Elenis. There we encountered members of the Narcissan Crew's Ordo, including Jacob Ingold, a core member of said Ordo. So he was a member, and Mary Ann was pursuing him. Affirmative. Well, guess there really was some relation there then. We should have captured Jacob and questioned him. Paimon wonders if he'll come back here. If we ever meet again, we're gonna have questions for him. Yeah, I don't think he's gonna answer questions if asked. If all else fails, we can just, go good cop, bad cop on him. There's gotta be some way, or else we're stuck waiting for Seymour to recall stuff. I mean, when I recall my record space collation, Miss Paimon, those things are basically the same. Any other questions? Tell me about your latest records. A fierce battle against the members of the Ordo broke out within Elenis. My storage unit encountered an error due to massive trauma. We must foil the Ordo's plans. To that end, Jacob Ingold must be stopped. You two. Miss Mary Ann. Yeah, you should take a break. Your words are most considerate. Seems like we're gonna have to wait for you to do that collation thing. But whatever the case, Jacob was trying to do something bad inside Elenis, while you and Mary Ann were trying to stop him, right? Affirmative. Your summary is overly simplistic, perhaps, but basically the truth, Miss Paimon. If only we had this information. Finding Mary Ann might be somewhat difficult. Doesn't seem like we've got other options beyond waiting for you to do that record coalition of yours, Seymour. Affirmative. My calculations indicate that this is the approach with the highest success rate. But it'll take a lot of time, won't it? If you wish, I can estimate the amount of time required. Processing time required. Unknown. Super helpful. Yeah, no need for this estimation stuff then. Well, Paimon's done asking questions, but boy, she's still got some for you, Traveler. You promised you'd explain, right? Alright. I didn't stash any snacks away without your knowledge. That's not what Paimon's asking. But there's no one to disturb us, and Seymour's, well, a related party, right? No time like the present. You tell Paimon and Seymour about the conversation you previously had with Elenis. Well, that's good to know. It's good to know that you're fine. By the way, Seymour, leaving you here to perform your record collation won't be a problem, would it? Huh? Anne, you're awake. Oh, good morning, Paimon, Traveler. Ooh, yes, let Paimon introduce you. This is Anne, an Oceanid and a friend of ours. Anne, this is... I know. You're the silly dog, Seymour. I lack relevant data. I do not believe that we have had the honor of meeting Oceanid Anne. I've never met you before either, but I was sure the moment I saw you, you must be Seymour. What's going on here? This must be... No, I don't know either. I feel strange. Note. Regular record space collation can decrease frequency of such issues effectively. Anyway, let's bring you up to speed. So, Seymour is searching for Mary Ann. No wonder the name felt familiar. The person Seymour mentioned and is looking for is also named Mary Ann. Note. Regular record space collation can decrease the frequency of such issues effectively. Paimon's had it with you. According to what Seymour said before, they can't be the same Mary Ann, right? The timing... No, they're the same Mary Ann. Based on your statement, I may deduce that you have met someone named Mary Ann in the past, or perhaps read or heard about such a person from sources apart from myself. Well, that was her name, that's for sure. You know what? Let's do something like this. We can call the Marianne and Anapausis Marianne 1, and the one you're looking for, Seymour, can be Marianne 2. Paimon. It's singular. This feels like Robot Dog 4. Have you tried turning it off and turning it back on? Negative. The Mariam I am searching for is of a higher sequential priority. To prevent confusion, she should be Marianne 1 instead. Huh? Why don't you look at it this way? 2 is bigger than 1. Doesn't that make it pretty good, too? Your claim. Sorting data fragments. Looks like you stopped functioning again. Paimon didn't think you had any mean bones in you, Anne, but you sure do. I don't know why, but I suddenly felt compelled to do that. Preliminary data sorting complete. For the following 15 reasons, Ocean and Anne, I assess that your perspective is illogical. Firstly, all right, that stuff doesn't matter. Come on, good doggy, sit. Understood. Why, if you sit, we'll be able to improve photo-taking stability, right? Yes. You need to take a photo, Ocean and Anne. I am equipped with the most advanced optics from the Fontaine Institute of Natural Philosophy. I can... Oh, there's no need, but thank you. Understood. Wow, Seymour's getting played left and right over here. Let's call a quick halt, please. Oh, really? Anyway, want to go to Anapausis, Seymour? That way you can meet that Marianne and see if she's the one you're looking for or not. Yeah. Oh, wait. What you say makes sense, Paimon. Affirmative. A reasonable suggestion. Well, then let's go. Actually, I don't think we'll need to trouble you this time. I can show Seymour the way. Are you sure you'll be alright? Yes, I know Seymour's very reliable. That's right. Let's meet up here later, shall we? A drained conch cup. And key to someplace in the Institute. Oh, I know. That's that other place. Ah. And that's it. Cool. We were done. There's no closure. I don't... Look at the ceiling. I'm already clicked out. I saw key and I'm already like, alright, I know what this unlocks. I mean, yeah, there's no closure, but I'm sure that... I mean, the nice thing about waiting until, like, the day, like, 24 hours before the next version comes out is I don't feel overly stressed about it. I think it'll be fine. Oh, there's a Lux chest in there? Goodness gracious. Alright. I'll go back for that. Now that there's, you know, a book there. Alright. Yes, okay. Like, am I going the right way? I am. Yeah, I really have appreciated that so far. But once this door is unlocked, we will... Aha! Mud from the abyss. We've got a few dragon spine rocks over here. Wait, no. Those aren't the dragon spine rock. Wait, yes, they... Wait, hold on. Yeah. 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 Another enigmatic page. I did not. I wanted to get through it. It's...
A reward on the road.
Do they have it stabilized? Or can we just not interact with it like this outside of it? Alright, well, nice. Another enigmatic page. Ooh, another ancient log. Okay. Anyway, when it comes down to it, our research instructions are different, so I applied for a new research lab with the director. But there's nothing for it anyway. Elaine is incredibly intelligent, but he only trusts himself and doesn't trust our observations or accomplishments unless he reaches the same conclusions through his own calculations. Probably. Well, it's okay, since Elaine is making the world a better place in his own way. I trust him because this is the world that Anne lives in. Even though the Institute is full of people, I don't have many friends besides Carter. Writes down another name. It feels like everyone kind of dislikes us. Renee managed to acquire something powerful to research. Apparently, these appeared after the disaster and are very dangerous for most people. But I feel okay. Maybe my constitution has gotten a lot better. I helped Renee out. When I visited him, I found out that he also attended Narcissan Crew's Institute. We didn't tell him about the vice director abandoning us, or it would have made him sad. If only we could have helped him, just like I was helped. After discussing it with Renee, he finally agreed to give it a try. He said... Oh, I bet Jacob wrote this then. He said that it's... he said since it's dangerous, everything needs to be made clear to Carter, and he must make the judgment himself as a concern. Oh, wait, no, maybe not. But if it's successful, then he'll survive, just like I did. Yeah, so this is probably... Okay. Cool. Because it sounds like they're talking. And Jacob's constitution allowed him to drink Helenis's blood, so this rock probably didn't affect him the same way that it was affecting everybody else. Cool. We've come full circle. Alrighty. Nice. It is just after 10:30. I did not sleep very much last night, so I'm gonna start getting ready for bed and all of that. But hey, this was a little bit faster to get through, yay. I'm definitely glad that I waited until towards the end of the version to get to these, because I think that if this was the beginning of the version, I'd be like, oh my god, but what now? But what now? And I'm just like, yeah, we're gonna find out. I'm not worried about it. We're gonna find out. I'm relaxed. I'm doing great. But I'm gonna get ready for bed and all of that. Thank you guys for hanging out. I will see you possibly tomorrow. We will find out how I am feeling. Yes, get some good rest, everybody.